but it is showing. It has the man. We got alert set down there in the um 7180, high 7180s, low 7180 zone, so we can watch price once it gets down there.
Yeah, because it could even use this zone on top. It could still be bullish, but it could use this zone to like clear everybody out and then go back.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. All right, perfect. Looking at the same thing, same zone. So got alert set. We'll see how it play out once it gets down there.
Yep. I'm here.
Sounds good.
I'm about to
Here we
roll
hit.
up.
Yeah, I'm about to roll
Yeah,
up
I just
too.
wrote it.
I got the YouTube sparked up. I was just getting the thumbnail up.
All right, cool. What's up, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Let's get this money.
Yeah, Monday vibes. Monday vibes.
Monday vibes. Monday vibes. Beautiful.
Yes,
Got some
sir.
shit this morning. Beautiful. Let's get to it, man. I'm here. Got my alert set. We here, boys.
Yeah, we here, man.
Work.
Spin the block. See what's going on. See what's popping. Start by Vincent.
Websites your competitors don't want you to know. Part two.
All you do is go to this website, and it lets you find out exactly how much your competitors are making by showing you how much traffic they're getting, where the traffic's coming from, and even which social media platform is driving the most visits.
No reason to battle. No reason to fight. You're going to continue to look for pullback longs. You're going to continue to look for that next level for us to pull back to and try to hold. And so that's what I just continue to do on a daily basis. Just keep building levels below that I believe can see a pullback hold to. And so for me, right, 502, 503, 505 area is my new area, right? You have Friday high here, Friday low here. You have this hold all intraday. And so for me, pullback long, that is my new spot on the SMH. Below that, I like 490 right there. I like that Thursday high, Thursday hold. Because between that, there is a gap, right? So I'm not so much a fan of any gap, trying to long inside of a gap. I like either that Thursday high here, right? Or it's got to hold right here. So if it fails here, then you're inside of a gap, and then I would want 490. Okay? IBIT tried to do it last night. And so I was interested last night in Bitcoin movement. I was like, okay, hold on. It looks like it might be a hood circle Coinbase week because we gapped up 2% yesterday on Bitcoin, which was awesome. It looked like it was ready to go. And then look at this 45 level, man. 45 smacks the IBIT again, straight back down and right back inside the channel. So as fast as it looked like it was ready to go, it is now looking like it just wants to stabilize inside this channel still. So it looked like last night I was watching Coinbase in the after hours, looked great. I was watching Hood in the after hours, looked like it was going to start to move. I was watching Circle. I was like, here we go. It was starting to look really good. And then you can see just that Bitcoin smack at the 80K, at the daily 100, and the IBIT smack at 45. So, yeah, a little bit backed off on that idea now this morning. I was interested in it last night, but now looking at this, I would just say, let's see if it can build strength again. Not something I'll go out and get aggressive on this morning. Something I would continue to watch, guys, is the IGV. This is going to be a very big week for the IGV. This is going to be a very big week for software. As you guys saw, Microsoft reports earnings on Wednesday, which I believe will be a really big tell for the Microsoft or for the software sector. Right now, you are on the retest, which is super intriguing. All right, if I go to the daily chart here on the IGV, you have a really nice retest of this 84 high. Excuse me. 83 to 84, previous highs here, holds here. Look at this hold right here. So you're on a really good and a very interesting retest on IGV. You do have a gap to fill above, right above 85.57. You have a gap above which is something I am definitely watching. If the IGV and software can find some strength, if we can get above 85.57, you have a gap to fill up towards 88.89. Now, this gap down is because of ServiceNow earnings. All right, right here. ServiceNow earnings caused that gap down on IGV. ServiceNow also is sort of right at the level that it needs to break to get its own gap filled back to the upside. So I'm interested in watching ServiceNow. I'm interested in watching IGV. I'm interested in watching Microsoft this week to see, does it find that strength? Does it sort of brush off that earnings? And do we get back towards that gap fill on IGV, which likely gives us the gap fill on, do we get the gap fill on ServiceNow, which likely gives us the gap fill on IGV, right? And so that is going to be very interesting. And then also Microsoft this morning. It's a little bit down in the pre-market, but I'm very intrigued by this daily chart. And we've been talking about the hold of 414. This daily chart right here, this daily high, this daily low, this 414, 411 level is super interesting to see if it can maintain and if we can build that higher low for more upside. However, with earnings coming out, it's really not much of a trade that I'm going to look to swing or anything like that. I do have some Microsoft in the portfolio right now, but I'm not really interested in swinging it through earnings. I could be intrigued by maybe some share purchases prior to earnings because, you either take a little bit of an L on shares or you are sitting in a fantastic average cost on shares. So for me, that risk is somewhat worth it. So I'll definitely keep you guys interested or updated on that if you're part of the group on what I do for Microsoft earnings. But overall, I am very intrigued by the software comeback. I continue to be. And I think there could be some opportunity on this week, especially with those gaps. So keep an eye on Microsoft, keep an eye on IGV, keep an eye on what this software move does this week. Probably going to have to wait to see the Microsoft earnings move to really get a strong idea of what the next move will be here. Okay? Oil, not much. Really not much action there on oil. We did get some news that, the Strait of Hormuz is reopening and, talks are being done and blah, blah, blah. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not going to really trade based off of that. Gold has been really quiet lately. And so really not too much, not watching that stuff too much. NASDAQ futures, one last check-in. We are failing back under Friday's highs, which that's going to be important to watch, right? If we see failures back under Friday high a day, that will be a very key spot, right? And we'll give you some insight into the intraday action, I would definitely say. Let's go over some of the top equity watches that I have today. And I mean, you just can't ignore MU. MU, we talked about this setup and it worked out to perfection, man. Look at this setup on MU. It's the previous highs into lows. Beautiful break, retest consolidation, leading to the next move higher. And look at this structure, man. It's quite perfect. Look at the structure that's building here. So you have structure 1, you have structure 2, you have structure 3. All right? Look how beautiful that is. So what are we looking for today? Well, we're looking for a pullback long at 492, 493. All right?
2 p.m. still works great. We'll put our best guy on the job.
You said you were the best guy.
Also, the sales guy.
You should check out Capitus. You can get a fast business loan and hire some help.
I got this.
Stop waiting, start growing. Get the funding you need at Capitus.com.
Maybe a Friday high day hold, right? If you want to get really aggressive on this thing, maybe you look for a little Friday high a day, 505, 506 area, right? Previous high day from Friday turning into new lows. That's a possibility. That's definitely a real possibility. I would say that the more confident inspiring entry would be right here. 493, 492. If we get that pullback, then it's sort of like I don't want to call it an automatic trade, but I would be extremely intrigued by that opportunity there. SNDK, you guys know we were tracking this one, made a really nice profit on this on Friday, and it did what we thought it would do, right? SNDK, we talked about the pullback long right here. We talked about the pullback long into these highs, previous highs, into lows, break and retest flag, break, retest long. There it is. Perfect. Spot on. Beautiful technicals. Previous highs. Now looking for that to turn into holds. Here, here, here. Pullback long. 980, 990. Does have earnings this week, so be careful of that. But that is definitely a beautiful little spot there on SNDK today. And MU and SNDK are definitely two of the strongest semiconductors. AMD failing a little bit up here, seeing a little bit of rejection come in at the Friday highs. I would need to see a pullback to 330, maybe even a pullback to 300 for any kind of action there. NVIDIA just tapped all-time high, guys, in the pre-market. 212.19 NVIDIA all-time high. You just went 8 cents away from it here in the pre-market. Right there. 8 cents away from the all-time high on NVIDIA. There's really only one trade on NVIDIA today. It's either a break and retest above all-time high. That's really it. Do we get a break and retest above all-time high in NVIDIA today? That's just like, that has to be a question of yours on the intraday today. If that does occur, markets are strong. If you fail this, like you're seeing now, you could see a little bit of a cool off there on maybe semiconductors intraday. Under 208, 207.68, you do have a pretty much straight up move here, which likely could be given back very quickly if semis do fall a little bit today. So just be aware of that. You really need to see it hold 208. If it fails 208, then you're going to have a larger reset. And what do I mean by that? It's going to take, multiple days to reset this move, maybe pull back to 204 and then try again. If you want to see this thing rip today, you really need to see 208 hold, or you need to get a break and retest over 212.19. Because if you fail 208 right here, you're probably going to get a little bit of downside action back towards this 204. Right? Tesla, not an interesting trade at all. We've talked about Tesla being uninteresting, and I hope that I've protected some of you from trading this stock last week. It clearly is inside of really tight channels, and this is not when you get involved in Tesla. So I would continue to stay away from that stock. IREN, slightly intriguing today. Let me show you what IREN's setting up. Take a look at this, guys. Really nice looking setup. All these triple top, quadruple top highs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at this hold. That's a nice 50 retest on IREN. That's something I'm sort of keeping an eye out for today. Google, I like this watch today. Google, looking for an all-time high push on Google today. Previous highs into lows on Friday. Take a look at this. If Google can hold above this Friday high right here, see this 343, 344 area? If Google holds this, I think you could curl this thing to all-time highs. So that's something I'm watching today. All-time highs is up at 350. So Google's on the watch today for a little move towards 350, 349. That's if it holds above those Friday highs. ARM, we're officially up 100%. Maybe not so much anymore because of this morning downside, but congratulations to my ARM long-term shareholders. What a move this has been. I'm not interested in chasing any more ARM up here personally. I'm going to need some substantial pullbacks, and I just continue to watch those pullback spots. Qualcomm has joined the party. Everyone welcome Qualcomm to the party because this thing has made a rip. So Qualcomm for me is not so much like just an immediate trade. I'll be looking to see how it settles in a little bit. But you have 176, 183 weekly highs here. Look at these major weekly highs. And you are still south of that. So you can see right here, still very much south of that level. Where would I want to see Qualcomm pull back to? It's very obvious. It's very obvious. Here's your Qualcomm long right here. If you can pull back to 155, right, come back down to reality, back towards these weekly lows, come back down towards the 200 SMA, right? Turn that into a support. That is then your trade. So for me, give me that pullback back down to that 155. That's the opportunity I'm looking for. NASDAQ's falling pretty aggressively here, actually. Okay. So the S&P failed. S&P sort of failed that Friday high. Yeah. Okay. I might adjust that actually a little bit. NASDAQ not holding the Friday high. Okay. So for me, It's right here. NASDAQ futures, 27,340, guys. If we do not fail that today, or if we do not hold that today, I think you could see some failures here. And maybe a little bit of risk off prior to earnings. QQQ, 661.66. SPY, overnight low, 712.31, down into 711, right down there. Okay, guys, that's going to be it. If you want to get more insight on the technicals today, make sure to head over to NinjaTrader Live. I'm going to be live on there at 7:45, so you can go ahead and check that out. And I will see you guys there. Press that like button before you head out. If you could, try to get us to 1,000 subs or 1,000 likes. Sorry about the quick live stream today, but sometimes I have obligations, so I'm going to go check that out. Go hang out with NinjaTrader, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace and love.
And some kid be talking to another kid and say, you know, I was studying for this exam and I just had to lock in. Right? A lot of colleges around here, so all the college kids these days are still saying lock in. So let's take this sip and then we'll get going here. All right. Ooh, here we go. 3.5 questions. Let's get started. Number 1, where are we opening relative to the previous day's range? Here is the prior day's range. You can certainly see that we're opening in range. So that gets a neutral indication on question number 1 to start. Starts to make me think P for patience. We also know that this is a double distribution. So what I will do is I'll just take the liberty of dropping in a little cyan box right there. We're opening in the upper distribution. That might be something like 1 1/4 before we even jump to 1.5, right? So let's just say 0.25 is bullish. We're opening in the upper distribution. Let's say UD, upper distribution. All right. Number 1.5, where are we opening relative to the value area? Value area, of course, is this area right here. We've got a Stevie Ray Vaughan and double trouble with the previous day high, which is also the regular trading hours all-time high. So technically speaking, if you want to get crazy in here, you could say it's the Jim Robitaille trio right at the tippity top of the move. So we're opening in value, right, which gives us a little bit more of a neutral indication there. Let's move along to question number 2. Let's see what's going on. Not point 2, but rather just question number 2. There we go. Where are we opening relative to the overnight range? This is a little bit more interesting in my view, right? You're opening kind of in the midpoint of the overnight range rather than sustaining a little bit more of this bullish action.
Yeah, it said the heat zone alert. Okay. To 8:32. Yeah. Heat zone. Or no, you already know. Like I told Dad, if they set up they told we want to set up out. Oh, now they blaming us? Nigga. They sent out a list of demands and threats. Yeah, bro. They playing war games, bro. Yeah, for sure, bro. I mean, they all not, to be honest. Israel ain't. Oh my God. That's crazy. That's crazy. Is he dead? No, that was a meme. Yeah, it came out last week that he got prostate cancer. Though. Oh, man. Oh, okay. I'm about to. Now talk. Yeah, we ain't seen him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why Trump keep coming out saying Iran don't know who their leader is. Yeah, man. Nah, Lebanon was the only thing not part of the ceasefire. Now they trying to take Gaza again. Nigga, they've been on Gaza head every time. Like, what about Gaza? Nigga said the same thing about Lebanon. Like, bro, get the fuck. Oh yeah, I can't write to the zin zin zin. Yeah, first getting candles off the zone. So low that it made 85. Yeah, that's righteous. Yeah, the low grade buys here. NQ in the buy zone 2 SO4. YM's not budging. Is YM frozen? YM's not budging. Standing up with. It's not as good. YM just moving chunky. All right, yeah, this the cheap buy. I mean, it's the low risk buy off of 52 right here for sure. Yeah, that's fine. We don't have to take it as long as we know what it is. Yeah, I can only quantify it by what we seen on Friday, and we still didn't take it till we got that candle. So, see what you made me remember. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not mad at it because it could definitely be. I mean, we did get a sell signal. Previous day high last week, high all time high signal. That's kind of what's playing out right now. Yeah, so I'm down. I'm down to hold it. Hold it. I mean, we've only got 23 minutes. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, it should be a 60 should be damn near 57 to 60 forecast. By the price line, nigga. Yeah. Yeah, we just wait. All right, good. We in agreement. Russian cap. I about to put one up by beer. Happy Monday, man. Let's make a chopped cheese. You hear me? Praise God. We hit, man. Oh, for real. Overly and abundant. Feel me? Get it, man. Praise God. We are boys. Same.
That was attempted in the context of a raging bull. Let's come in here with the green crayon. Higher low over previous day's range, higher low over the overnight high. Same thing here, and same thing happening here, and same thing happening here on the first washout. That supports 71.80, And then in here, you've got your higher low as well, right? This is still, this is like 1 hour higher low over the range. This red dot here is your look above and fail situation. This would be sort of like 1 hour look above.
Yeah, all right, I'll notate that. I might have a slow till
fail.
then.
All right, let's hit this with a couple of cyan crayon levels.
good
Of course,
news.
your overnight high is going to be at 08. Your previous day high is meshed in there at 7,200. This level is at 7,180. We've talked about it in quite a bit of detail already. 7,180 as of right here. Your value area low, in my opinion, is going to be very important. Value area low is at 7,167. And that would indicate to me acceptance on an hourly look above and fail. 7,167 is hourly look above and fail, right? That turns this into a bit more of a successful breakdown with acceptance underneath, right? So 7,180 breaks, but you find the lower high underneath value area low, suddenly you're looking pretty rough, right? Let's come in here with the red crayon over here as well, underneath previous day's low. This is going to be underneath 7,145 to about 50. 7,150 by about 45. Okay. Beyond that, what's the bottom end of the range? Does anybody remember what the bottom end of the range is? Anybody? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Nobody's got it. 7,120. Hey, Desert Dean's got it. 7,120. 7,120, about 30 points below. It's just off the screen. Just off the screen. If I did something that looked like that, oh, there it is. 7,120, right? Just off the screen by a hair. All right. This is BSB, Blue Sky Breakout. Blue Sky Breakout. All right. That's mostly it. Let me also put over here the logic as to why this is based on SMH. Okay. Let's grab a screenshot of this, and then let's continue to move forward. We'll talk Spiders Cash ETF, and then, of course, we'll get into our nasty NASDAQ, QQQs, the whole 9 yards, so hang tight. This is hashtag ES pathing. Good. And we'll keep moving. Keep on keeping on, as they say. I believe that's what they say. You got to keep on keeping on. Crude oil is ripping. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, let's go see if I can find some headlines real quick. Trump to hold a national security meeting with Iran, or on Iran, stalemate with top advisors from CNN. What else? Only 4 vessels passed through the Strait of Hormuz yesterday, showing the waterway remains largely blocked. Jeez, I can't speak. Iran believes its military should have authority over the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, just more news headlines about that, right? That's kind of the main. That's the main idea. That's all, right? I really don't think it's I don't think it's anything that the market doesn't already know. The markets kind of understand that, right? It's not. Let me just maybe frame it this way. The bank, the bank analysts and whatnot, you could maybe dunk on them a little bit and say, oh, these guys are so silly and yada, yada, yada. They're not idiots, right? They didn't fall off the turnip truck yesterday. Everybody kind of knows that the Hormuz risk still exists. So to think that we're somehow special and ahead of the curve to say like, oh no, analysts haven't thought of this situation. They didn't imagine oil staying at $90 a barrel for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. They thought it was going to go down immediately. Like, that's not really, those situations have been accounted for, right? So, anyway, there is the ES pathing on the 15-minute time scale. Of course, now it's time to jump on over to the Spiders Cash ETF, and we'll continue along. Yeah, Eclipse Window Tinting. There we go. Is there an ETF I can buy that shorts SMH? As the good folks in the chat are suggesting, SOXS. SOXS. Pretty dangerous if you are not, well aware of what you're doing. All right, let's grab a sip of this coffee and then let's jump on over to the Spiders Cash ETF. Sip and poof. Let's jump on over. Let's see what's going on here. Oops, there it is. Yeah, there it is. There's the Spiders. So what do we see? I mean, it's the same thing with just different numbers. As we know, it's always the same concepts, different numbers over here on the Spiders Cash. So you can see where we're opening in the pre-market. All the consolidation through the after hours is above the previous all-time high level, 1, 2, and then the breakout, right? So that's 712.40. As long as we're above 712.40, this is bullish consolidation in that upper distribution that we just talked about on the ES futures, right? Where you had a double distribution on Friday. So 712.40, if we're above that, looking for continuation in the upward direction, right? You could get Brigade Bolts over previous day's high. That's fine. You could map out the overnight high if you really want to. There's nothing wrong with that. So this kind of action into blue sky territory, fantastic. Consolidation here, look below and fail, and then go, no problemo, right? 712.40 if you're above, bullish. If you're below, now we start to deal with look above and fail, right? Target the midpoint of the range, 709. 709 is previous day's low, basically, Friday's low. And if the market were to go beyond that, right, all we're looking for is this right there. And this would sustain a 1 hour
50-50 on this
higher
play.
low.
The only thing,
right? No problem. Trend remains up.
we still
So
are
for the
overall
daily
bullish.
pullback to become a real thing, right?
So I
Daily
know,
pullback
like
to become
whichever
a
side you
firm
get your best A+ setup
higher
on.
low attempt, we actually need a breakdown underneath 702.50, right? Which is the perfect gap fill reversal level from firstly Tuesday of last week and then again on Thursday
Just
of last
manage
week. Notice
risk.
your previous Thursday's high back here. Again, 702.50. So if the market is going to achieve this outcome in the bubble, which I think is less likely for this morning, again, lower odds, not impossible, but lower odds for today, let's say T for today, then you would actually need to break down underneath these lows. The market would need to say, whoa, I'm here, and then I'm here, right? And then we start looking for a daily higher low setup in this little zone down there between about 697.85, previous all-time high, and 693.75, right? I think there's way lower odds that actually shapes up for today. Look at how the pre-market's shaping up. Look at how the SMH is already playing out. I just don't really see the ingredients yet, unless maybe there's some sort of a sneaky headline that comes out mid-morning, right? Hey, we're going to go do XYZ over in the Middle East, or hey, this isn't really working out and, we got to do this instead. So that's what we'll pay attention to. But for now, that is really kind of it on the Spiders Cash side. All right. I'd say that these three, 1, 2, and 3, are really the more likely outcomes to be focused on, right? Continuation via higher lows and Brigade Bolts into blue skies, or a shallow pullback that still offers an hourly higher low over 705.50. So your 3 kind of key levels to pay attention to, 712.40, everything above that is bullish. If we pull back below that, 709 pit stop, 705.75 next key spot, right? That is that. Lawrence, 1994, with the 5 gifted memberships. Very generous of you on a Monday morning. We've got Mark joining up. Jason, Vin, Mavster, Wise Productions. Welcome to the 5 new gifted members. Appreciate you guys coming out to the show as always. Enjoy your month of unlimited, uninterrupted access to, of course, Fiji water on tap, handmade caffeinated drinks from Svetlana, and, of course, executive suite access. So, there we go. That is what we've got as it relates to these. Christian K. just stumbled across the stream. Very nice. Thank you. Well, hey, pleasure to have you up here in the office this morning. I hope you're having a fantastic start to the week, and we hope to see you around the office more frequently. Come on by anytime. We're live every morning, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. All right, Spiders Cash ETF. Pathing ideas are mostly complete here. Let's jump on over to the Nasty NASDAQ. We call her the Nasty NASDAQ because we know it kicks, grunts, snorts, bucks, does all sorts of wild stuff. Ride the tiger here. What do we have on the 4-hour chart for the NQ? Certainly a screaming uptrend. There's no arguing with the bulls being on parade. This has been the lockout rally. This was strong, not might be stronger than April. This was stronger than April of 2025. I believe, like, from what I can recall, we never had any actual lockout halts in the after-hours sessions like what we did during the sickness era. If you guys remember, coming out of the V-shaped bottom of 2020, we had some actual market halts overnight, both halt up, halt down. And we didn't get that this time around overnight, moving in the upward direction. But this has been one of the most strong lockout rallies I have seen in recent memory. Before the sickness era, the market didn't trade like this at all, right? The sickness era really changed the way that markets traded, in my view. And, you know, this is just a totally different beast. So, strongest in, like, history, right, of the markets, period. So, really strong stuff. No arguing with that. I mean, if you're stepping in front of this thing as a moving freight train, you know, be my guest. You could take your little tactical stabs as shorts and whatnot, but it's just like, in my view, the best course of action is if you're long from in here. Congrats. I am long some stuff from in there, not nearly as much as I would have liked to have been, but you either stay long the stuff that you got and continue to trim into strength, or you wait for this pullback. I don't know about shorting it. If you've got the guts and the glory and the tactical discipline to do it, then by all means, do what works best for your strategy, but really strong markets, right? Really strong. And usually once we start having this conversation, it's kind of a sign that, hey, maybe we are reaching a little bit of a temporary top in here. We'll, of course, monitor for that. But anyways, 4-hour trend, of course, remains up. This is a vertical move, which means what goes straight up can come straight back down. I don't want to see the markets back down here, especially in short order. But if the market does retrace, there's really two key areas that we need to pay attention to on the 4-hour perspective, right? 4-hour perspective. Number one is this, right? It's the unfilled gap from back here, which also aligns with the top end of this balance range. All right, that's at 25.6, let's call it 675. It's where the 20 SMA is going to start meeting us with price. 25.675. Again, am I forecasting that we're going there today? Absolutely not. I'm just saying what goes straight up can come straight back down over the span of time. If we get a nasty pullback via price rather than digestion via time, this would be a place that must hold on the NQ for a 4-hour, higher low. Otherwise, larger problems emerge, right? In the short term, I think what we want to see happen is the potential for a pullback to bring us to the top end of this breakout point, right? See these three equal highs, 1, 2, 3, breakout. If the 4-hour pulls back into that, you could be watching for a 4-hour higher low there, right? It'd be a very shallow 4-hour higher low, but it's pretty good, right, in terms of its location relative to other reference points. All right, so that's the NQ top end of this multi-day range there. And to give you a number, right, that's going to be around 880, 26,880. All right, and that's kind of the bottom line for the 4-hour. Let's drop it down to the hourly chart. Let's get a little bit more granular where, of course, the top end of that range will play a little bit more of a key role. You can see it here now. That's that 880 spot, 1, 2, break, right? Oh, this lower is a little bit lower of a high in there. Nonetheless, Brigade Bolt already shaping up, right? That's been a successful Brigade Bolt. So on the hourly chart, you could honestly stair step above that, right? Which is going to be your Friday's low of day, which was a perfect gap fill reversal to the Thursday high of day. Now, why is this important? Because you actually have the opportunity to set a 4-hour firm higher low here via an hourly downtrend. I know that's a mouthful, so what does that mean? Well, if the market pulls back and cannot sustain this and drops below, I would start arguing that the loss of this previous resistance, which should, in theory, act as support, would drift your hourly trend to down, right? You would have highs, some kind of a lower high likely, then you'd have a low, and then if you fail that and you move to here, you actually have a lower low on the 1-hour, right? So if the 1-hour trend flips to down, that satisfies the conditions of a 4-hour higher low, right? To be firm, let's say. That's some really sloppy handwriting, but you get the idea, right? Remember that the 4-hour only sets a firm higher low when the hourly trend flips to down, and we could satisfy that over that 880 spot we were just talking about, 1, 2, and then break, right? So that's one situation to have in the back pocket. The other situation, which would of course just be sort of like base case here for the NQ, would be such that, okay, this is already starting to shape up as look above and fail on the hourly. You pull back in here, and then you just support it, and now you're just continuing the trend. Lows, higher lows, right? So this level, as we should likely need to know, Friday's low is at 128. 128, right there. You could round up, call it 130 if you'd like. That's fine. Round numbers. Remember, the NASDAQ's the nasty NASDAQ for a reason. It's going to overshoot. It's probably not going to be clean at 128. But in this